want you to think about the following, and it's something that I never really gave second thought to until a few years ago. Really started thinking about this, and probably remember the old nursery rhyme. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Now let's think about that and have some thoughtful insight as well as some fun in deconstructing this nursery rhyme. Now, what do we know? Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Now, Humpty is an egg. You might ask yourself, what is Humpty doing sitting on this wall? He's an egg after all. I mean, if he falls, don't you know what's going to happen? But does that really matter? Like any one of us, we have our frailties, we have our strengths. And sometimes ignorance is bliss. So whether you know you're an egg or whether you have no idea that you're an egg, why should it really matter? For all we know, Humpty is thinking about things, and this wall is representative of an impasse or of something that he needs to decide, or he just simply wants to sit on this wall. Who are we to really define what Humpty can or cannot do because he's an egg? Now, Humpty has a great fall. It's important to know that he has a fall, not that he's fallen. And like any one of us, there's going to be multiple falls in our life. And it's probably more important that you have these falls so that you can get up, so that you can learn from these falls, as opposed to be fallen and deal with the repercussions or the connotations of being a fallen individual has, which are probably a lot more dire than having a fall. Now, all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. This is important because this is a king, after all, who has sent all the king's horses and all his men, but none of them could really put Humpty together again. And like with anything in your life, although there are resources, there are services that you can turn to for help, for assistance, ultimately it's on you. You are the primary person who is responsible to help put yourself together again when you do have those falls, and to understand that you're going to continue to have these falls. Now, it's better to have these falls as an opinion than to be fallen and not be able to get up again. Although you have your frailties, although you may have your wall or multiple walls, you really never know what you're going to evolve into or what's going to transpire if you don't have these falls. We really don't know what happens to Humpty, whether he lays out splattered all over the floor, whether he becomes a nice breakfast for all the king's horses and all the king's men, whether it's just really time for Humpty to break out of his shell and to, unknowing and unafraid, move on to the next evolution of his life.